I love that we all come together to support one another, to help really drive and boost the industry that we are in. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us on this live webinar, which is the final one of the day. I'm really pleased to announce that David is here. He is live and ready to go. And today, David will be speaking on how to reopen your salon stronger and more sustainable than ever. So, David, are you there? He is here.
I am. How are you, Emma?
I'm well. How are you? Thank you.
I'm very well, thank you. You know, I was just looking at those pictures there from the show in Dubai, which I got to attend a few weeks ago, and I cannot believe that we are like this now. You know, you never would have guessed it. You know, just a few weeks ago, we got to all hang out together and go to the awards afterwards, and we had such a great time. And now
time flies. Now look at us, all virtual and online.
All virtual.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. Just a couple of pointers. David's also going to take us through an amazing presentation shortly. But at the end of the session, there is an opportunity to ask him questions live. So if you have a question to ask David, please just tap it into the Q&A box, which is at the bottom of your screen, and I will share those questions to David afterwards. So I will hand over to you, David. All the best, and see you afterwards.
Thank you so much, Emma. Well, first and foremost, guys, it's an absolute pleasure to be joining you today. I know that we're under these kind of very strange circumstances. Thankfully, though, I've still been able to come down to my studio, and my studio is in this building that's completely on its own. So fortunately, my kids are not running around and screaming like they are at home. Nicole's at home with them right now. So that's a good thing. What I want to talk about today is something that, of course, has been a big topic in conversation since we've had the shutdown, right? And we've all been thinking a lot about our businesses, kind of reflecting on what's been going on. You know, I know for a lot of you, you've probably been thinking, I didn't realize just how fragile my business is. You know, I think that's been a big conversation within HPS, has been, within weeks, I've been pretty much broke. I've realized now that I thought that my business was strong, that it was sustainable. But if something like this happens to it, it's actually not. So this got us thinking, it got me thinking a lot, and Nicole and I sitting down and talking with our other coaches and putting our heads together. And we started to think about what are the things that we can be doing in order to make sure that we have got security. That we get our businesses to a place where if, God forbid, something like this happens again, that we're safe. Maybe we're not making quite as much money, right, as we would be if we were open, of course, but there's still revenue coming in. We're still generating, we're still able to serve our community. We're still able to look after our team members in some way. So that's the question. How do we do that? Well, there's a couple of different ways, and I'm going to get into both of them today. Some of you are probably going to be thinking, well, that's not really anything brand new right now. And for others, it is going to be new. It's going to be, wow, yes, I've wanted to do that, or why haven't I done that yet? I've always wanted to get to add that to my business, never had the time to, but now you do have some time. So what I want to talk about is, first of all, your online store, right? Being able to retail, being able to sell products online. And then the second thing I want to talk about is online education, okay? Being able to create classes and create a following and be able to sell classes, either live classes like this, or being able to create an area where you've got videos that you've created where you can sell them almost like a kind of Netflix, where people can go and subscribe to, and they can go and watch videos there on a pay-per-view basis. All right. So a couple of things. First of all, as many of you know, I am a business coach. Just to give you a bit about my background. If you haven't heard of me before, I'm David Barnett. My wife is Nicole Barnett. We both coach salons all over the world now. We're in 12 different countries. We did own our own salon for many years over in California. It was in a tiny little town. And even though it was in this really small town, and it was pretty small premises as well, we were able to take that salon to over 7 figures in revenue very, very quickly. Not only that, but we were able to create multiple stylists on our team that earned over 6 figures behind the chair. So what we realized was that the systems and the strategies that we'd put together that we were using, these were the things that were kind of missing in a lot of the salons that we knew about, right? Friends of ours that had salons. And we knew that there were a lot of stylists out there, a lot of salon owners out there that were really struggling to create an amazing career for themselves. So Nicole and I ended up selling the business, selling the salon, and started coaching full time. And for the last 3 years now, we've been building our coaching business. And yeah, like I said, we're in 12 different countries now. I got to come out to Dubai. We work with a number of great salons out in Dubai now as well, which we absolutely love. And we're all over the US, the UK, Ireland, Australia. It's got pretty crazy, to be honest. It's absolutely amazing and very, very humbling. But a couple of salons that we worked with who have been closed recently, I was talking to the owners, and one of the guys, his name's Anthony Kilcoyne. And he has a salon on the west coast of Ireland. I know a few of you in Dubai are actually from Ireland as well. He's on the west coast of Ireland in Sligo, and he has a salon called Salon 2. Now, he calls me up the other day, and he calls me on a regular basis. We have a great relationship. We're always having great conversations about his business, and he's just expanded as well. So he went from a rather small shop to probably 3 times the size, and they've only just opened their doors literally about 3 or 4 months ago. So you can imagine, pretty scary situation to be in, right? Fortunately, he has great relationships with his banks and stuff, and he was able to get everything organized, so he was secure. But he didn't stop there. What he's been doing is he's still been going into the salon each day, and he's been calling up his clients, and he's been selling them retail products, right? So he's been able to connect with his clients that way and then sell them retail. And he calls me up the other day and he says to me, David, we just added it up. And in the last just under 2 weeks, week and a half to 2 weeks, we've done over 6,500 in revenue. I was like, that is crazy. And you haven't seen one client? He said, no, haven't seen one client. I said, so how are you actually doing this? So he said, well, I haven't got an online shop yet. So he goes, but I want to get it. I want to get one up and running. But what I've been doing is I've just been calling up my clients, checking in with them saying, hey, Mary, it's Anthony from Salon 2. How are you? How are things going? Do you need any professional products right now? Do you need any shampoos, any conditioners? And of course, they are absolutely delighted to be hearing from him. And then he's also started selling, you know, the Wow hair mascaras. I know there's a few different products out there right now, but that has been one of his biggest sellers. So he had literally, when they first closed down, within about 3 days, he started selling the Wow product, right? And he had a line of about 25 people outside his salon lining up for this Wow product that he was giving to them one at a time on his doorstep. So he was able to generate 6,000 in revenue. Now, the other thing is he wasn't even doing close to that in retail before his salon closed. So this has been a big eye opener for him as well. And there's another salon that we have who are just on the outskirts of London. And there's a girl called Kim Driver who runs a salon called Raw. And again, they've done over 3,000 in sales in the last week, retail sales. Again, drop-offs to people's doorsteps, some of the stuff they've been mailing straight out or using courier services. So again, this was a big aha moment because People are making changes right now. And the changes that we're seeing, both within the industry for us as business owners, and also for the clients, these changes are not going to go away. People are going to develop new habits for the way that they live, for the way that they shop, and to me, it's actually very, very exciting right now, because even though we're closed down, even though we are not able to do business like we usually love to do it, there is opportunity out there. There is opportunity available to each and every one of you. And if you haven't had the time to look into this, because I know how busy you are, when you're running teams, when you're seeing clients yourself, it's so difficult to have the time to focus on other areas. But this is not the time to bury your head in the sand and just wait for us to be open again. It's the time to ask that question: what else can I be doing? How else can I be generating money today? Now, I know a lot of you know a lady by the name of Sophia Hilton very, very well, right? And Sophia is absolutely incredible. I'm a huge fan. I think she does an amazing job. But she was doing a presentation recently, and maybe a few of you were actually on the presentation. She did like a Zoom live class on her marketing systems and strategies. She was charging £100, I think it was £100 for the class. And I think she was running it over 2 days. So it was like 4 hours on one day, 4 hours on the following day, charging £100, which, as we all know, to spend 2 days with Sophia Hilton, that's a deal, right? That's an absolute bargain. She had a couple of thousand people sign up for that class. So we're talking a couple of £100,000 she made in those 2 days. Now, I know a lot of you are probably thinking to yourself, yeah, but she's Sophia Hilton. She's got 100, 250,000 people following her on Instagram, on Facebook. I understand that. But there's also ways that we can be making money doing our own classes, maybe not on that scale, but we can be making really, really good money. My own personal barber, his name is Paul Skerritt, right? He has a tiny little barber shop in a really small town in Wales. And I'm talking small, I'm talking tiny. I'm talking probably a population of about 750 people in this town. It is minute. He has a tiny little barber shop, but you know what? He is an amazing barber. Does a little bit of education, does a little bit of travel sometimes to go and do classes in certain places. But I was cutting his hair, he was cutting my hair just a few weeks ago. And I said to him, Paul, you should start teaching online classes, because I know that, he's got a small family at home. It's very, very difficult for him to go to leave his home and go away for a couple of days to be teaching classes. I said to him, if you could teach virtual classes, you could charge a fraction of what you normally charge, and you could still get a lot of people on. And I bet you could make £1,000 in 1 hour. I said to him, if you were charging £15 for your class and we market it correctly, I bet you can get 50, 75, even 100 people on that class. So we put it together, and I'm going to show you in a minute exactly how we did it. And he starts to market his class, right? And it was on a skin fade class, as we all know, really, really popular right now. I think it's probably the most asked for technique when it comes to barbering skills or gents hair cutting skills. So we started to market the class. He was able to sell just under 100 spaces on his class for £15 each, £14.99 each. So that made him just under £1,500 in 1 hour. One class in 1 hour. Now, I know that we're in a situation now where we can't actually even do live models, so it's a little bit more difficult. Some people are still selling classes and they're using mannequin heads and what have you. But the other thing is that Paul is able to now put that video, that class that he did, into a members area. And what he's going to do is, as he starts to build up those classes now, he'll put each one of them into the members area. And then for a small fee, people can go in and watch those classes whenever he wants. So he's just put this amazing new revenue stream to his business. Hasn't had to look for a bigger premises, hasn't had to open a second location. There's been really nothing investment-wise out of his pocket, yet he's literally been able to double his income, because he was earning about £1,000 a week. I think he was taking home. So he was doing well. He's a busy barber, but he was able to make that same amount of money in 1 hour. Now, I know there are so many talented hairdressers watching this right now, and each one of you have a skill, have a technique that somebody else will pay money for to come and attend your class. It could be something really simple. It could be an amazing blow dry technique that you have. It doesn't have to be some advanced balayage skill. We teach classes to do with consultation even, and things like that. There are so many different skill sets out there that people really want and they're willing to pay money for. And what we're going to find when we reopen, after all this is kind of settled down, we're going to find that people are still going to want to attend online classes even more than the live classes. I think online classes we're going to see grow exponentially now. It's going to be a huge thing. I was talking to Chris Moody the other day. Chris Moody, very, very well known in the US, has a great salon here in the UK, does a lot of work for Redken. He's one of Redken's lead global artists now. And he said Redken had an event that was supposed to be out in Las Vegas, and it was supposed to be last week. Of course, they couldn't have it. So they said, you know what, let's just put it online. Now, I think there was about 500 or 600 people expected to attend the event, the live event, but they put it online instead. They said, you know what, we're going to have the same classes, we're going to have the same speakers, everyone's going to be there. And they opened it up and they had 1,500 people attend an online class, which is just absolutely mind-blowing. Again, what they did was they did 4 hours on one day, 4 hours the next day, every 2 hours took a little break. And they said it was amazing. The amount of feedback, the amount of interaction they were getting from this class was incredible. So I think this is going to be something that we start to see more and more of. So how do we get started? How do we go and build this kind of business? How do we start to implement another stream of revenue like this? Well, Nicole and I just launched something in HPS, and I haven't been speaking about it outside of HPS, but I'm going to speak about it today because I want you to be the first that we can present it to. We have created with our marketing team, fortunately, we get to work with a really amazing marketing team, and these guys are literally the best in the business when it comes to being so tech savvy, when it comes to building out websites, building out platforms. These guys are the best in the business. And I turned to them and I said, look, I want people to have the ability to open up their own web shop, right? Their own online store, to be able to brand it themselves, be able to get this up and running as soon as possible, like in one day. Would that be possible? Would you be able to create something that I could give them access to that would enable them to just go and rebrand it, put in the products that they want to put in, and get it up and running in one day? Now, Nick, who I deal with in our marketing company, he said to me, you have to give me a few days with this. Let me get together with the team and let's figure out if there is a simple way for us to do it. So I left him for a few days. He got back to me and he said to me, I've got some good news. We're able to do it. We can do this. I'm going to show you exactly what we've been able to create for the people in HPS. Okay. And we already have probably, I think there's about a dozen brand new web shops already up and running. And we only launched this just a few days ago, and it's absolutely incredible. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share my screen with you right now. Okay, so this is the web shop. All right. This is something like you can see, very, very simple at the moment. Okay, so we've got our logo and our branding up on the top, some copy underneath, a little bit more copy, picture, image here, some more copy, and then we add in the products below. Now, let me just show you how easy this is to change out, because I said to Nicole, you know, I know that it's me who normally messes around with the online stuff, but I need you to test something. I need you to see if you would be able to go and create your own web shop if I just give you the directions of what to do and how to do it. Can I just see if you can go through the videos that we've created and see if you can create your own web shop? So she said, yeah, absolutely, I'll go and check it out. So she went in, she had to play around with it, and within about 90 minutes, maybe even a little bit less than that, about 90 minutes, her web shop looked like this. Okay, so she was able to change out all the colors, all the text. She even had to, she didn't actually have any of the imagery, so she had to go and find the imagery as well and photograph it or download it and then upload it here as well. So it took even a little bit longer than it should have took. But within 90 minutes, she had her store up and running and ready to go. Now, like I said, we presented this just last week, beginning of last week, to the people in HPS, and we already have a number of salons that are already generating significant income from the online store. Okay. Now, what we've done is we've built this out completely for free. Right. So I paid to get this built. And then what we've been able to do is to put it into a platform called Clickfunnels. Okay. Clickfunnels, clickfunnels.com. And I'm able to share it then. So whoever joins Clickfunnels is able to get full access to this. All right. Now, the guy I was telling you about, Paul Skerritt, when I said to him about creating his own classes, I said to him, we need to go and build you out a platform where you can send people to where they can purchase the classes. This is what Paul's ended up looking like. As you can see, very similar layout, right? He's got a video there though instead of the image. But as you can see, it's just broken down into sections. He's got the price of his class there. We actually put a video in here instead of the picture. So video plays there.
Hi, my name's Paul Skerritt and I'm the owner of Barber Code.
So a bit of information about Paul, some of his cool imagery, and to sign up for the class. Now, the great thing about Clickfunnels is, like I was telling you before, if Paul does a class like this, and we want to go and put it somewhere, we want to put it into a members area so we can create, because this is about creating a business. It's not just having a one-off class. We want to create somewhere that is an actual business that functions really professionally for you. So what we've been able to do is within Clickfunnels, there's an area where you can go and you can create a members area. So for instance, if we want to go and load in 10 videos in there, 10 haircuts, 10 classes that Paul's done, we can go and add them to that. Let's also say that you want to stand out head and shoulders above any of the salons in your area. And any new team members that come and join your salon, you'd love them to be able to go somewhere where they can watch all of the videos that create your culture. So for instance, how you do the perfect consultation, right? The journey of the guest through the salon. Maybe you even want to put in the apprenticeship program in there. All that can be created in Clickfunnels. All right. So this platform is really state of the art. You know, I'm honestly, I don't know why there's not more salons using it than there is right now. All right. I've been using Clickfunnels personally now for about 4 years, 4.5 years. And it's just absolutely amazing. You could also go and put your salon website on here as well. Okay, so anything that you want, you can build it within Clickfunnels. Okay, so let me just go back here. So what we've done is that when you join Clickfunnels, we've created this members area, right? So just like I spoke about, we wanted to create a members area that walks you through exactly how to get your shop up and running, right? Your online store up and running. So what we did was we created this members area, and then each video walks you through exactly how to set up your online store, okay? How to edit it all, how to set up your shopping cart, right? So we recommend that you use Stripe. Stripe, again, you know, any of these shopping carts, there's not normally a charge, okay, to set them up, okay? There's no monthly fee. They only charge you when a transaction is made. So Stripe normally works off about, I think it's about 2%, 1.5%, 2%, right, of each transaction. But you only get charged if a transaction happens. Okay, so we show you how to connect all that up, setting up your products, so adding your products into Stripe and adding them into Clickfunnels. And then even if you want to have your own domain name, so you know, if you wanted to have the high performance stylist online store.com, which would be a terrible name, way too long, but you could have whatever name you wanted. You can buy your domain in Clickfunnels as well. This thing does absolutely everything, okay? Now, of course, for Clickfunnels, there is a monthly fee, all right? But it's only a small amount of money considering everything that you get, okay? For Clickfunnels, it's $97 a month. But the great thing is that for the first 2 weeks, you don't have to pay a dime. You don't have to pay a penny. All right. So you get 2 weeks to get in there, get your online store set up, get all your products in there, have it looking absolutely beautiful, and get sales generated. Get things going, get things moving before you even have to pay a penny to Clickfunnels. All right. And if you want to add in, if you decide, okay, I also want to set up my education platform in here. I also want to put in my website in here. You want to put it all in there together. It's still just a single payment of $97. All right. Now, the reason that I strongly advise you to start with the online store is because I think right now it's the easiest way for you to start making money. I mean, the whole idea with Clickfunnels is that really it costs you nothing out of pocket, because you're already generating income. You're already seeing revenue come through the business. All right. So that's why I highly recommend that when you start with your online store. Maybe you've got somebody on your team who would love to get their hands on something like this, right? They'd love to embrace it and run with it. Maybe it's not for you, but maybe somebody for your front of house could manage this, right? For me, when we had it in our own salon, it was my front of house. I got them to look after everything. They were tech savvy. They loved doing it. They also looked after the inventory in the salon. So it was an easy transition for them to take what was in the salon and also put some of it online as well. Okay. Now, what we've done in order to create, in order for me to be able to give you the share funnel, right? So in order for me to give you the website that you need to start building out your own, I've created a special link. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the link into the chat area. Just 1 second. think to see my chat, I've got to come out of the stop share. So I'll just come back to full screen for a sec. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to add the link in here right now. Hopefully you can all see that. Hi, Raksha. I'm seeing all the few comments there now. Okay, so guys, like I said at the very start of this, things have changed. Things are dramatically changing in our industry, right? And some of these changes, they're going to be permanent, all right? It's not going to be something that's just going to completely go back to normal. And the way that you've got to be thinking about your business is, how is it going to be different? How can I make sure that I am safe? If anything like this ever happened again, how can I make sure that we are still generating revenue, that we're still making money, that we're still moving forward? And for some of you, this could literally double the revenue in your business when you're back up and running. Right? For some of you, this could be your saving grace, right? This could mean that by tomorrow, you're back making money, you're back making sales, right? I was talking to one of the salons actually out in Dubai recently as well, and they were telling me that they're also doing a ton of online sales, right? Again, calling their clients and being able then to use a courier service to drop the products over to the guest. Now is an amazing time for you to launch something like this, okay? So many salon owners are just sitting and waiting for salons to get back open again. We don't have to wait. If you have always wanted to teach classes, but you've never had the chance to really sit down and map out the perfect class, an amazing class that people would love, now is a great time for that. Now is the time to go and map out exactly what you would teach, how you would break it down step by step, and put it together. Okay, guys? Emma, let's have a few questions if there are any there.
Thank you, David. Amazing. Yes, we do. We have a few questions, and guys, keep putting some questions into the Q&A box. So there's a question from Facebook. Is Clickfunnels a free platform? Yeah. No, it's not. It's
not free, but it is for the first 2 weeks. Okay, so they get 2 weeks to get in there and try it out. I mean, if you went in and you completely built out your store and you went live with it and you realized that after 13 days you still hadn't sold anything and you're worried and you said, you know what, I just need to shut it down, then you can do that. There's no contracts whatsoever with ClickFunnels. It's month to month. So you haven't got to worry about being tied in to anything.
Okay. Then we have a question from Vincenzo. Hi, Vincenzo. What is the technology used to teach classes and charge a fee? What technology would you?
So I would probably use Zoom. I think Zoom is probably the best one out there at the moment. No, there's a couple of other ones. I mean, we actually often teach just through Facebook Live as well. So what you could do is as people sign up for your classes, like for instance, this is what we did with Paul. Okay, when people signed up for his classes, we put them into a private group. So we created a private Facebook group, added the members to it. So that means we could go in there and just start the conversation even a few days before, get them excited, get them prepared for the class, and then we just go live in the group. Okay, so you can do it straight through on Facebook. If you want something a little bit more high tech, then of course you can use Zoom like we are today.
Okay, fab.
Great question, by the way.
So Vincenzo said that Stripe doesn't work in the UAE. Are there other, does PayPal work?
Yeah, PayPal works. Any of them, yes. Yes, that is. So whatever you're comfortable with using. The reason that we were using Stripe is because it's probably one of the more competitive ones, price point wise, but I'm sure that there's the equivalent to that in the UAE as well. And ClickFunnels is definitely being used throughout the UAE. there's definitely no problem with hooking up whatever your shopping cart is, your preferred shopping cart is, to Clickfunnels.
Okay. A question from Noreen. How can we start online training in the future? What would be your suggestion on getting that up and running?
I think, you know, to begin with, it's really important that you choose one specific thing that you want to be known as an expert in. If you're trying to teach random stuff, like everything, even if you are really good at everything, if you're trying to teach color and then you're trying to teach cutting, and then you're trying to teach extensions, then people just kind of get a little bit lost, you know. And if you want to get your name out there and get renowned for something that you do, you need to choose one thing. Look at, you know, Ben Brown. You know, he's a great example of somebody that said, okay, I'm a classic hair cutter. I do modern classics. That's what that is my niche. That is my thing, right? And if you look at most of the famous educators out there, they're usually famous for one thing. So my advice for you in order to get your name out there and to get a following, is to make sure that you are focused on one thing, one area. Become the expert, the authority in that one thing, and keep teaching that same class. Be known for that class to begin with, and then you can start to branch out from there. But to begin with, get famous for that one class.
Fab. How would you take payments if you do not have an online store? What would you suggest would be the best way to take payments?
Well, it depends how you're doing it, really. I mean, really, you've got to, in this day and age, people want convenience, right? So the whole idea with online sales is convenience. If you are calling them up from the salon and you're taking a credit card over the phone, I guess that would be an option, but it takes the convenience factor away from it. You know, you really need to have some sort of portal that you can set up so that people have that convenience of knowing that they can just go on and pay, even if it's at middle of the night, you know, or it's 5 o'clock in the morning. They can go on and purchase anytime. Otherwise, you're kind of losing the reason of why you would have it. You know, they can just come down to the salon and purchase it, or, you know, call you up and purchase it. But really, you need to have that shopping cart. I highly recommend it.
Okay, a question from Paris. How do you compare Kajabi with Clickfunnels? She has been advised that Kajabi has more options. So what are the differences? Do
you know what? I haven't used Kajabi. I do know it very, very well, but I haven't used it myself. All I will say is that Clickfunnels, as far as I know, has more, with a lot of the other platforms like Kajabi, there's also Infusionsoft, there's a few other ones like that, and most of them need other things plugging into them in order to work. Like, for instance, if you want to email all of the people on your list, then you'd have to plug in something else like Aweber, whereas Clickfunnels, you can do everything from that one place. All right, everything hooks up there. They do everything inside Clickfunnels. And also they have an amazing customer service team as well that are like 24/7 all over the world now. They're absolutely amazing.
Okay, question from Maria Dowling. Hi, Maria.
Hi, Maria.
We are on lockdown. How do we get the products out of the salon?
Good question. Yeah, are you actually not even allowed to go to your business at all now? Are you on 100% lockdown?
Pretty much. You need a permit. You have to apply for a permit to leave the house, even for essentials. So yeah, essentially.
You know, unless there's orders being delivered that can be delivered to your home, such as, you know, the product companies delivering to your home, then I guess at this point, then there's not a lot you can do, really, you know. But what I want to make sure that we are thinking about is that, of course, we're going to be out of this very soon. sooner, hopefully rather than later, right? And as soon as we are, we want to be in a position where we have this other revenue stream for our business. Yeah, obviously, if you can't get to the products, you can't get your hands on them, and they can't be delivered to your house either, then it's one of those situations where there's not a lot we can do about it. You know, are any of the product companies delivering at the moment?
I think there's a few, yeah, that's their bread and butter of their business is online delivery.
You know, that's the other option, is quite a lot of the product companies now are giving very good commissions on salons referring clients to them. You know, so if there was a way that you could become an affiliate for your product company, whether that is Kevin Murphy or L'Oreal or Wella, whoever it is, and if you call them and ask them about being an affiliate for them, so that you recommend the products to the guests and you automatically get 30-35% commission, whatever that is they decide to give you. I know that a lot of the product companies have really raised the commissions on that now, so that you can just email all of your guests or send them a link, and they'll click on your link, and you'll receive the commission from that product. So that could be another option if your clients are really desperately looking for products.
Okay, and you know, comparing the situation here in the Middle East to the UK, have you got any success stories of any salons that you're working with in the UK during this lockdown, of things they might have done in terms of revenue or social media initiatives, or anything that you can, that's outside the box?
Yeah, there's been some really, really amazing stories going on. I mean, I spoke earlier about some of the product stuff that's happening, but I think, you know, one of the most important things here is the connection that we keep with our guests and with our team members right now. Anthony Kilcoyne, who I talked about, who was doing, you know, 6,500 in retail sales, he said that the biggest thing about it, though, for him wasn't the money that came in. It was just having the conversation with the guests, and the guests being so delighted just to hear from him. The fact that he picked up the phone to her and said, you know, Mary, how are you? How's things going right now? How's everybody in your family? Are they all okay? And then being able to say to them, you know, do you want any shampoo or conditioner or anything as well? Oh my God, yes, I do, please. I better get some for my daughter as well. So even if the sale was taken away, I think just being able to pick up the phone and having those conversations with guests, I think is really, really important right now, especially if you've got people that you know have been loyal guests of yours for many, many years, right? We've got the time right now to just pick up the phone and have that personal interaction with them. I know that there's been some really amazingly active WhatsApp groups going on, and I'm sure you've got them as well over in Dubai as well. But, you know, again, it's been incredible to see how people have been able to connect and keep that community spirit up and running even during the downtime. It's been amazing.
Okay. There's another question. I have some business ideas online and I want to get advice from you. How can I get advice personally? We will connect you up with David. With any of you that wants to be connected with David directly, then I can do that on your behalf for sure. I know David works with many salons here in the Middle East already and has offered great advice. And then someone just said, this topic, how to reopen a stronger salon. I felt more of how to do online business at this lockdown time. But I think what David's trying to say is you can reopen your salon stronger and more sustainable than ever before because of the online direction that David is talking you through. Don't you agree, David?
Yeah, I think, you know, that's what it's about now is not just thinking about how can I survive during the lockdown. It's about how can I have a more sustainable business when we do open up again. You know, how are things going to be different for all of us? Because they are going to be different. Things aren't just going to go back to the way they were. And I think we've all realized that our businesses are very fragile in their current state, right? If we're just relying on making money when the salon doors are open and when clients are coming in, then we are very fragile. right? If we've built an online business that's selling products, if we're doing education online on a regular basis, then it means we can make money 24/7. That's what we've got to think about. How can we continually make money even when the doors are closed?
Perfect. And in terms of team morale during this time of lockdown, how do you have any advice on salon owners and how they should keep their teams motivated during this period?
You know, it's been absolutely amazing just how much free education has been coming up everywhere. You know, everywhere you turn. I mean, the amount of incredible Instagram lives and Facebook lives, you know, and Zooms and things like that have been coming up. And I think in a way it can almost get overwhelming. There's so much. And what I would strongly recommend that you do is that if you would love for your teams to be working on certain things, let's get very specific. You know, if you know that there's certain classes coming up and you've got a young stylist coming through who really needs to work on her classic foiling techniques, then go and find exactly when that class is on and message her personally and be able to say to her, you know, Sarah, there's a class on tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I think this would be amazing for you. You know, it's going to really help you to speed up your foiling skills. Here's the link to it. Go and check it out. Get very specific rather than just saying, guys, there's loads of education out there. You know, go and find something to watch or go and look up something. Get very specific. You know, coach them. Give them specifics about what you want them to be watching. And if you can find out when those classes are on for them and guide them, I think they'll really appreciate that. And I think you'll get a much better response from them rather than just, you know, I'm expecting you to watch something or do something. Get specific.
Brilliant. Okay. I think that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much, David, for your time and for presenting to us today. Anyone who wants to be connected with David, then just pop me an email and I'll be sure to introduce you.
Do you want me to put my email in the?
Oh yeah, you can put it in the chat. That'd be great. Yes.
Yeah, I'll put it in there. And also, you know, we've got last thing is that somebody had mentioned there about our what was that? Our week program. What's that? Has Love David's week program. Oh, I'm not sure what that is, but we have a very popular business class called Boot Camp, HPS Boot Camp, and we started doing this just before the shutdown, and we had to actually close it down because, of course, what was going on. And I mean, boot camp is all about us grabbing the opportunities, growing our businesses, really thriving and making serious money from our salons. And of course, we had to close it down because we all closed. So what we said we would do is reset and relaunch it again just when we're about to open again. So we all get very, very clear on exactly what we need to be doing in order to generate massive income for our business. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm at High Performance Stylist. I'll just put that in chat as well. And also, it's the same one on Facebook as well. And you'll get all the information on there then on my Instagram and on my Facebook regarding the next boot camp. Boot camp is 2 weeks of incredible education, and it's all for $1, by the way. It's something that we do, Nicole and I love to give back to the industry, and we do this 2-week coaching program, business coaching program for $1. All right, guys. So yeah, if you want to just keep an eye on our Instagram and Facebook, and we'll keep you updated on that.
Brilliant. Okay. Thank you so much, David, for your time. Thanks everyone for joining, and yes, we'll all be connected back in Dubai hopefully next year once this is all on lockdown, David, but it's great to see you virtually at least.
You too, Emma. Thank you so much for inviting me. It was great. Thank you.
Bye everyone.
Bye.